One of the 5 large cities of the Kingdom of the Komagene, known today as Pirin, is the ancient city of Pere. Pere, in the ancient times, was on the route of the road between Melitene or Malatya and Samosata, mentioned for the taste of its waters in ancient Roman sources, as a place where passengers and caravans were accommodated. It preserved its importance in the Roman period. It was also important for its religious role in the sending of a representative to the Nicene Council located in Iznik, or Nicaea, in the Byzantine period. At the entrance of the town, in the necropolis area, the structural function of the tombs carved out of rocks was discovered through excavations. Also, with the wine and oil presses, water cisterns, and water distribution systems that purify water, Pere is a fascinating ancient city. Mosaic ruins, temples, stone quarries, the architectural style of that period, using advanced technical skills to use the most advanced technology, astonish visitors. The most striking thing is to see how the little people of Komagene accomplished great things, which can clearly be seen here. Here, where civilizations were born, developed, and spread to the rest of the world. At every step you can come across natural or historical structures. To name but a few, there is the Sofraz memorial tombs, the Herun sanctuary, and the Karakush tumulus. The Sofraz monumental tombs, known as the large and small tumulus, are in 2 separate locations. Inside of them, there are vaulted tomb rooms and sarcophagi made out of stone. The rock tombs you will come across in river basins along the Turush and Pere show how the culture of burial has been a form of art in these regions. History is written in every inch of Adiyaman soil. The sanctuary of Herun in the Sinjik region. Sinjik is another mystery. In the sacred temple, the temenos walls and 2 symmetrical vaulted Heruns can be seen. The Karakush tumulus was made by the 2nd Komagene king, Mithridates, for his mother, Isas. The locals, because of the eagle imagery on its columns, called it the Blackbird tumulus. On the columns there is the figure of a lion and a handshake. Isas's daughter Antiochus and her daughter Akka lie over there. Arsamea is the summer governing center of the Komagene kingdom. It is built upon the foot of Mount Nemrut, behind the old Kata fortress. On the ceremonial road to the south, relief statues of the kings of the Komagene and of Apollon Mithras. And in the middle section, there is a relief of the handshake of King Antiochus of Komagene with Heracles. Antiochus wanted to be remembered for being on good terms with Rome. In order to display his power and immortality, he had many structures and reliefs built throughout his kingdom. One of these reliefs is this work showing him in amicable terms with the Romans. Arsamea, as a place where east meets west, the sky and the earth reconcile, gives a serious message of peace to today's people. Perhaps as a result of this, Adıyaman remains one of the calmest cities in the world, even though it consists of different religions, languages, sects, and beliefs. Gendere Bridge is on the ancient Chabinas Creek flowing into the Gendere Canyon, located between Kata and Sinjik regions. With its 1,800-year history, the still functioning bridge was built by the 16th Legion that set up headquarters in Samsat during the reign of the Roman Emperor Septimus Severus. Inscriptions from the period, along with shedding light on how the bridge was built, also provide valuable information on the history of the period. Among the columns along the bridge are found one dedicated to Emperor Septimus Severus, one to his wife Julia Domina, and the others to his sons Caracalla and Geta. Caracalla, who came into power after Septimus Severus murdered his brother Geta during the struggle for the throne, and had all structures made in the name of his brother destroyed. From this destruction, the Gendere Bridge also gets its share, and the column built for Geta has been removed. A magnificent example of Roman monumental architecture, the Gendere Bridge today hosts visitors with its historical beauty and is a location that the locals use for entertainment and trips. The Mountain of the Gods. Hiding itself with all its mystery for 2,000 years, enormous statues fighting against time. The most mysterious ancient world of the gods. A king who aimed for immortality and divinity. A place where unique gods met. The celestial throne of the gods. Nemrut. The history of Adiyaman extends back 40,000 years from the time of Christ. It became home to many civilizations: the Hittites, the Hurrians, the Phrygians, Assyrians, Persians, Macedonians, and the Commagene. The Commagene succeeded in displaying their kingdom for 230 years at a time of great power rivalry and vicious wars. Thanks to King Antiochus, who became immortal and wrote his name in history. With his ego and intelligence, Antiochus aimed to be immortal and divine. He was of Persian and Macedonian descent. The kingdom of the Commagene was also located in an important location, a passage for the Persians to the west and east for the Romans. He had to protect his land, and so, by marrying his daughter Laodica off to the Persian prince Orades II, he became allies with Persia. In this way, he had the power to stand up against Rome. He rose to fame by defeating Rome, the king of a small country, against the superpower of the time. King Antiochus, who succeeded in maintaining his status and land, had only one goal left: to become immortal. He had to do something that would assure that he would not be forgotten, and that for centuries thereafter, his name and power would be talked about. He had to do something, but his main fear was that his dream would not be permanent. And King Antiochus used his self-confidence and diplomacy to build a statue of himself and all the gods on the 2,206-meter-high Mount Nemrut. He chose Nemrut because Nemrut was the peak of the area, and it was the best place to watch the sunrise as well as the sunset. His goal here was to synthesize the gods of the East and the West to create a new religion, a new system of faith. That's why all the gods here have two names. One of their names is in Persian and the other in Macedonian. Zeus Aramastes, Apollon Mithras, Commagene Fortuna Tyche, Heracles Artagnes. The protective eagle of the Commagene kingdom which represents domination of the sky, the protective lion statue, which represents the kingdom's domination of the earth, were made along with Antiochus's own statue. In this way, Eastern and Western civilizations wouldn't be able to destroy a temple that had their own gods. It was a very clever idea and could have made him reach his goal. In reality, his greatest fear was to disappear and be destroyed. This feeling was expressed clearly in the inscriptions left behind the pedestals of the statues. Whoever protects these statues and our memory through my prayers will have the blessing of all the gods and my ancestors. Whoever harms these statues will be cursed by all the gods, and all his family who dirty the soil will burn in angry fire. As much as the statues and engravings here, the tumulus made out of millions of tons of limestone are fascinating. It was in the middle of the eastern and western terrace, and it prevailed over all the land. 140 meters in diameter and 55 meters tall, it is the highest tumulus in the world. The same statues that are on the western terrace, where the sunrise is watched best, are also featured on the eastern terrace, where the sunset is best watched. Behind the thrones is King Antiochus' 223-line will. It is Nomos, one of the most important findings in Nemrut, which is the lion horoscope. The lion horoscope is the world's oldest horoscope. The date of July 7th, 62 BC is read on the engravings of the moon and stars. This date corresponds to the date in which King Antiochus first came onto his throne. To the north and south of the terrace, there are engravings of the Commagene Kingdom's Persian kings. King Antiochus is thought to be buried in a chamber beneath the tumulus. If this room is found, it will be the first intact tomb from the Hellenistic period to be discovered. But to this day, no one has been able to find it. Since the day it was discovered, Mount Nemrut has attracted world-famous archaeologists such as Theresa Göhl, Pushtain, Sester, Karl Dorner, and Osman Hamdi Bey. The archaeologists who were fascinated with the unique works here have worked for years to try to get inside the tumulus and unfold its mystery, but all have failed. Theresa Göhl was so amazed by Nemrut that in her will she asked for her ashes to be spread across Mount Nemrut. Antiochus, in his will, wanted his statues to be visited and preserved. Even though his sons and grandchildren didn't fulfill his will, Antiochus reached his goal many years later. Mount Nemrut was made a World Heritage Site on the 11th of December, 1987. In 2004, Nemrut was awarded the Golden Apple, the Oscar of tourism, by FIJET, the World Federation of Travel Journalists and Writers. Even though Antiochus left his mysterious world into unknown secrets, his dream became reality 2,000 years later. The whole world now knows of him and his kingdom, and to watch the sunrise and sunset, to see his mysterious world, they visit Mount Nemrut.
Eigenem Auto von Deutschland.
Come from Uzbekistan.
We are from Poland.
In the United States.
Come from England.
I'm from Estonia.
I'm from Taiwan.
Es ist einfach absolut klasse, absolut fantastisch hier.
For King Antiochus, the sun had risen once again. 2,000 years later, King Antiochus succeeded in becoming immortal.